This is how I turn my Instagram into a local lead machine using this hybrid Instagram strategy. Using this strategy, I went from booking 0 calls and having 0 audience to now building an audience of my ideal client while getting 25 booked and qualified calls per month. All this with local clients here in Houston. So most service businesses that I know, they're either not running any ads, which means you're not generating any leads through social media. That in itself is already a huge opportunity cost. Or they're getting leads from lead gen sites or referrals and word of mouth, and that's the only thing they're relying on, which is obviously pretty inconsistent. This hybrid Instagram strategy that I'm about to show you solves both of those issues. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the Instagram strategy that I use to not only book calls for myself, but also build trust and an audience on social media. See, on Instagram, there are 2 special types of ads that you can run. They are the follower ad and the direct message ad. Both of these ads are aimed at growing your social media presence while also generating leads and starting conversation with potential clients. And both of these ads are special because they do one thing that your typical lead form ad or Google ad does not do. You're building your social media presence and generating leads at the same time. So this is where the short form content comes into play. That's why it's called a hybrid strategy. See, when you're building a local following on Instagram with people here in town, the people that follow you are now in your ecosystem. This means that you get to capture a large audience of not just the people that are interested in your services now, but as well as the people who might be interested in your services later, or who will eventually refer you to people that they know are interested in your services. That way, instead of just capturing the 10% of people who want your services now, you're capturing a larger portion of that market while building trust with those people. So not only does this allow you to sort of snowball and capture a larger market over time, but you're also building a social media presence with only the most important leads, and that's local leads. The people that are eventually going to be able to pay for your services. Okay, so now that you have a good understanding of how this strategy works, how do you make this kind of ad, and what short form content should you be posting? Well, the first ad I'm going to show you how to create is called a follower ad. The whole point of these ads is to grow your following locally with people that are just here in town. This is how we start to not only generate leads, but also build a hyper-targeted audience. So how do you create this kind of ad? Well, first we need to script it out. Now let's switch to the computer and I'll show you how to script that out. This right here is the custom GPT that I made that will help you create follower ads for your local business. So the first thing you need to do is click this button right here in the center. This is going to prompt GPT to ask you questions about your business so that you can just go ahead and either talk to it on your phone, or you can go ahead and type. You can go ahead and answer these questions by spending 5 to 10 minutes just typing up the answers to all of these. This way, ChatGPT is going to be able to write you a really good rough draft that'll give you 5 to 6 ideas so that you can start creating local ads as soon as possible. So I'm going to go over an example. And now it's going to start creating local follower ads that you can then go ahead and tweak to your liking. So this custom GPT that I have linked down in the description already has proven copywriting frameworks and methods that are going to write you a great starting script so that you can test out multiple things starting off, so that you don't have to waste time trying to figure out what a good script for an ad even looks like. So now that you've got your script, you need to film that ad. If you have the latest iPhone and some sort of microphone you can attach to your phone, then you are good to go. Best place you can film these types of ads are either in your office or shop, or another really good place is somewhere recognizable in town. Really, the important thing is you don't want to overthink this. Just make sure that the background in your video is relevant to your service or business. So finally, once you film that video, the next thing you want to do is you need to find a short form editor. I highly recommend that you find a short form editor instead of trying to edit yourself, because that's a skill that you can outsource for pretty cheaply. And it's also something that you don't want to do because if you're a business owner, it'll take you a while to edit that video to make it look decent. And once again, it's something that you can pretty cheaply outsource. Now, up to this point, if this process seems too long or tedious, or it doesn't really seem realistic for the amount of time that you've got on your hands, our team handles this entire process for you in terms of scripting your videos and ads, filming everything, editing that, and even running the ads for you. So if you want to learn more about how we could do that for you, Check out my Instagram page. It's the first link in the description, and DM me the word grow. I'll send you some more info on how that works. Great. So now that we have our video edited, the next step is to start running the ad. This part may get a little bit technical, but if you're familiar with running Facebook ads, this is going to be pretty simple. Let's head over to the computer and I'll show you what I mean. This right here is the Facebook Ads Manager. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new campaign. This is going to be a traffic campaign. This traffic campaign will allow us to run Instagram profile visit ads. I'm going to click next here, continue doing manual traffic campaign. And some of the very important things to take into account here are: 1, your budget. You want to make sure that your budget is set to at least $40 per day. This is the minimum amount of budget that you need to start testing something out to see if things work, while also getting some sort of result. Another really important thing to consider is that you want to be doing this only to Instagram. So what I'm going to do here for the messaging apps is I'm just going to remove Messenger. So that way, the only place people are going to visit from my ad is Instagram. Finally, for the conversion, you want to send the conversion to Instagram or Facebook. This right here is where we just choose our Instagram profile. Now for audience, this is also a really key part. For the audience, you want to make sure to select only your local area. So for example, if your area was Houston, you can easily do a 20-mile radius. Now, if you do live in a smaller town or in a smaller area, then this radius could be larger. But to be honest, in big cities like Houston, where there's millions of people, a small radius is much, much better. This is going to make sure that only the people that you want are seeing your ad. So for example, if you live in south of Houston or west of Houston or east of Houston, then what you could do is you could instead drop a pin here. If this is your area of service, depending on your service, you're going to choose the radius size. Typically, it'll be anywhere from 10 to 20 miles. If you do have a larger radius, like 25 miles, I do recommend that you have also a larger budget, at least $50 to $60 per day. Now, in the actual ad, this is where you would add your creative, your video. You can go ahead and add the video ad right here. It'll allow you to pick from a ton of different videos. As you can see, I've been doing this for a while for myself. And yeah, that's exactly how you would set up your ads for Instagram so that people go ahead and follow you. Now, next comes the short form content. There are 3 types of videos that you want to make sure that you have on your page. And those are the who, the what, and the why. This is a framework that you can use to make sure that the top 3 videos you have on your page are going to quickly educate the new followers that you get so that you can start building trust immediately. And the way this works is the who stands for who you guys are, what is what you guys do in terms of your service, and the why is why you guys do the service. Alternatively, it can also be why you started your business. Just something that'll share more about your story or your mission. These are the 3 posts that you're going to pin at the top of your page. This is because when people look at your profile, when people find your page, they'll typically look at your top 3 posts to see what you're about. And if they like that, they'll choose to follow you. We want to make sure that we do these 3 videos strategically so that when you start running these ads, we get a high conversion of clicks to follows. Awesome. So now we move on to the next phase. You're building up a following, but the real question is, how do we turn those followers into booked calls and eventually more jobs? So after running these ads for some time, here are 2 things that we're going to do to turn these leads into calls and eventually jobs. The first is you want to reach out to the people that follow you. This is super important so that you start conversations with people. People will start following you for a reason. So they're either interested in your service now, They know they'll be interested later, or they know someone that is interested in your services. So when people start following you from your ad, you can easily start a conversation by saying, "Hey John, thanks for following. Do you know anyone that might need X service?" This is a great way to break the ice and just start conversations with people locally. Now, the next thing you can do, which is a bit more tactical, is you can run DM ads, direct message ads. This is a more direct response type of ad where you're gonna go through your offer and you're gonna prompt people to send you a message if they're interested. These inbound messages are actively interested in your service. This type of ad starts conversations with those followers that you got that are also interested in your services either now or very soon. And remember, the point of starting these conversations is so that eventually you can book a meeting or a call. So make sure that you keep these conversations pretty brief, get an understanding to see if they're qualified, and then once you figure out that they're qualified and that they're interested, get them on the phone or get them in person. So this right here is the beauty of running this strategy on social media. Not only are we getting leads and starting conversations with our prospects, we're also building a following and a presence on social media, and you're becoming more well-known in your town. This is the same strategy that I personally use to generate 25 plus qualified calls per month on my calendar, and which has allowed me to quit my 9-to-5 job and pursue my business full-time. And now, because I dedicate myself full-time to my business, I can dedicate more time to my clients and getting better at my craft even faster. You don't need a massive audience. You just need the right people here in town seeing your content and following your page. So if you want to learn more about how this works, check the first link in the description and shoot me a DM on Instagram with the word grow, and I'll reach back out to you.